that critics must be filtered. Critics must be filtered. What Jesus did is he filtered the critics through God's love. You filter them first through motive. Is this a love motive? Does the person love me? Is this for my benefit or is this for their benefit? If it's for my detriment, if they're just trying to talk about me, dog me, make me feel bad, hate on me, I can't even accept that criticism. Because what we do is on one side of the seesaw with critics, with cants, we accept everything they say and we take it and we fill our lives and we fill our minds with it. So much so that the critic can say something to you and years later you can be living in response to the criticism of the person who criticized you. There are men who spend their whole lives trying to combat the criticism of a father who said you'd never be nothing. There are women who do things simply. You have a job that's not God's will because you're trying to prove that you could be not your mama. Because the critic can leave, but the critical spirit can remain. Because it's not the person, it's the enemy behind it trying to get you and mess with your confidence in yourself and God. Because that's why Jesus said to her, I don't condemn you. Because Jesus knew that a critic's comments can create in you self-condemnation if you fill yourselves with them. So you can't fill yourself with them, but you also can't flush them away. Because that's the other way we do it. I'm not listening to nobody. You're just a hater. Maybe they're not a hater. Maybe they're trying to be helpful. Hey, man, your response is just a little strong. When you deal with people, man, I love you. I just want to let you know. Not everybody knows you like I know you. Maybe. See, that's why everybody, okay, all right. And you flush it away. Rather than filter it through motive. Is a person trying to help you or hurt you? If they're trying to help you, even though it hurts you, it may not harm you. The only way criticism can harm you is if you flush it away or you fill yourself with it. But if you filter it through God's love, it can help you. And the Lord told me to tell some of you, and I'll show you the last problem, some of you need to filter the critics through the lens of familiarity. See, what you don't realize is that in your hometown, amongst your relatives, is a prophet without honor. What am I saying? See, they knew you back when, and they still view you back then, so they can't see me right now. So they just think you so-and-so, and they can't even believe or imagine what God has put in your life. See, mama, be careful that you don't see your little kids for all their mistakes, and when you was a teenager, you did this, and I used to change your little stinky diapers, and I used to wash your little butt, and I did this, and I did that, and you can't see that God has called them to be this, and this, and you're so busy dealing with them out of familiarity that you're criticizing them not for where they're going, but for where they are and who they used to be. Come on, I wish I had somebody. Your own family are the ones. It's scriptural. Joseph's brothers, his own father could, because they were family. Oh, you just Joseph, right? You just a little dude over here. You think you got a coat of many colors, so now we're going to bow down to you, dude? Yes, you are. David, why are you coming to, who are you? Who you leading few sheep with, David? You going to fight Goliath? Yes, God has anointed me to be the king. His daddy didn't even invite him. Why? Because they were too familiar. Be careful, parents, that you don't judge your kids for where they are, not for what God has put in them. Part of you foreseeing problems is you foresee the promise that God has over their life. Your kids are more than you can even imagine. And you know what? Your spouse is more than you can imagine. You see them for their issues, but maybe you don't see them for where God wants to take them. You better be careful not listening. And we listen to the people who are the closest to us in proximity because they're supposed to be our family. But very often you don't realize that those are the very same people who can hurt you the worst and get you to doubt yourself the most. So you got to be careful and filter their criticism through their familiarity.